Hello and welcome to another episode of LMS sensitization. And today we have a very insightful lesson on setting up essay quizzes. So, how do you set up an essay question? So, we have seen how to do the multiple choice or MCQ questions. Now we pivot and look at the essay questions, where the faculty or the teacher or the lecturer expects a student to do a considerable text as an answer for a question. How do we set up that kind of a quiz? So essentially, Moodle provides a couple of formats, but we will settle on one for the essay questions. So let's discuss these as we are navigating our course. So I'll choose one course here, LMS training. So remember, as a faculty, let me just go back. Any course that you're designated to be the teacher as a role, you will see it under my courses. So you see here, I have a course, the LMS training. We want to add an activity. The same way we have added activities for MCQs, for assignment, introduction. That is how we are going to add our quiz, our essay quiz. So by default, expect that Moodle will be on a read-only mode. And for you to update anything as a faculty, what you need to do is to activate the edit mode. You see where my cursor is on the top right, where we have edit mode. So you toggle that and you switch it on. The telltale signs of edit mode being activated are the pen icons. The pen icons, you'll see them everywhere. Now, we have a week 4 that we could add an activity. So the activity there will be our quiz. In normal cases, this would be applicable when you're setting up something like a CAT or a continuous assessment test. So I'll click on add an activity or resource. Then I will search for quiz. I will click on quiz. So there you have the normal kind of input fields that you're supposed to enter. For now, we'll be interested in the name and the description and the timing. The timing is very critical because that tells your students when they should sit for this activity. So you could set it and activate it for next week or in the next 2 days or in the next 1 hour. So the first thing I will assume this is cat 1. So these will be essay questions on virology introduction. So this one I'll give it a description just for example purposes. I'll say this is the first cut on virology. It will take 2 hours to complete. Take it seriously. All the best. All right. Now, display the description on the course. It's good to show that. Give as much information as you can in these activities. Then for the timing, let's say I'll enable these. Today is 23rd September. I'll enable these on, let's say, 1st of October. 1st of October 2025. That will be, let's say, 10:30. 10:30. Who is 10:30? 10:30. Close quiz. So I'll close it, let's say, on. So I'll give students an allowance of 2 days between first and between 1st and 2nd of October. Then let's say I'll close it on again. Let's say I'll close it at 12 noon, 12:30. Or let's say it's 12 noon. So between these two durations, I expect you to complete this in 2 hours, regardless of where you start. If you begin in on 2nd October at 10, you'll have to complete in 2 hours time. So time limit 120 minutes. So postgraduates, these are adults, and you may want to give them a wiggle room. If you've decided to take the e-learning way, then take the full advantage of e-learning. And later on, we will, as we are doing, as we are moving from these basics to more complex matters, I will even show you how to do what is called plagiarism settings, and how to do proctored exams where you use the Safe Exam browser. But for now, let's look at the basics, the critical settings for you to set up a quiz. So now, these, regardless of essay or MCQs, the name, the description, the timing, that is critical. Then, when time expires, open attempts are submitted automatically. You could choose that. It is very convenient because it means no student will have an issue when it comes to submission. They will not say, I did not find the submit button. So as I've always said, the default settings most of the times will give you a safer grounding when you're setting up these things. This tells you what happens when the time expires. So let's move away from this. Save and display. All right. So there we are. So as you can see, we have done the basic settings of our continuous assessment test. And now we are left with questions. As you can see, there's a yellow label here that tells us no questions have been set. And that is the backbone of this lesson. So what do? I want you to remember this. Setting up essay questions, you go to Moodle, the question bank, import questions. So we have gone to Moodle, we've gone to the quiz activity, and then we have the question bank. So this is the view of the quiz. Now, as you can see, you do not have any questions. So let's go to the question bank. What I want us to do, instead of we go to the question bank to get the questions we need for our quiz. We do not want to do the questions one by one, and there's a way to automate that. Once you go to the question bank, so it has a default category, default for LT 2025. Under questions, click that and import. Right? Now that is where now the file format for the question comes into play. As you can see, Moodle has provided various formats for importing questions. So we have icon, we have Blackboard, we have embedded answers, we have GIF, we have missing word format, we have Moodle XML format. So when it comes to essay questions, there are two common formats that you could use. Number one is the gift format, which we will use, very simple. Number two is the XML format. It's a bit complex, requires technical know-how. So for us, we will settle on the gift format, and that is what I had planned for us to have a look at and discuss why we need to use it. So let me go to my homepage. I think I have one format somewhere, the model gift format. So it begins with a category. The category is where you're going to place these questions. Imagine you have a unit that has various chapters, and you probably need each chapter to have its own questions, so that when you're selecting questions, assuming at week 4 you have taught 3 chapters, and you want to pick questions from those 3 chapters or even 3 handouts, then it will be easier for you to know, let me go to chapter 1 on virology, chapter 2 on virology. So how do we do the category? Notice there's a format. So you begin with a $sign, then the word category in uppercase, a full colon, a space, and then the title itself of the category. Then the questions, how do you do the questions? Is the double colon Q1 followed by a double colon that represents the title of the question, and then followed by a sentence which is the actual question, right? So that question ends with a full stop. Then you do a space, and then an empty curly brace. So that is how it's done. So the question follows this format: the question title, a space, then the subject matter of the question, and at the very end you have a period or full stop, a space, and an empty curly brace that tells the learning management system that we expect an essay kind of answer. So from one question to the other, you do a space, a one line space, and then you go to the next. Then after that, after the second one, you do a space, an empty line, and then you set up your other question. So that is the essence of the gift format. We choose it because you can decide to formulate it from any text editor, a Notepad, VS Code, Notepad++, and again, it takes the format of simple plain text. Simple plain text, then it's easy to write and import, as we shall see. So we have seen it takes the format of a question title, the question, and an empty brace. An empty brace, we've said, indicates an essay type answer. Let's go to our LMS and select the gift format. After that, we need to import our file. The easiest way to do it is to drag and drop your files into this placeholder. So for me, I usually on a PC, I'll click on the Windows key, and then I'll click on the right arrow. That places the LMS on one side, and the other windows that were open are placed on a space for me to select which window I'm interested in. I'm interested in my file system, so that is what I will expand onto that space. And then the desktop, I have my file here. So I'll drag my file. I've dragged my file. Then I'll expand my LMS window. Then I'll click import. As you can see, passing questions from import file, importing 10 questions from file. So it means we do not have any errors whatsoever. So what have we done? Again, I'll go to my file and show you we have imported questions into a category that is virology chapter 1. We have seen how you set up your category, the $sign, category in uppercase, then you have a colon, a space, and the category name. The question takes the format of a question title that goes that goes as follows: double colons, the question title itself, and another double colon, a space, then the question. The question ends in a period, a space, and an empty curly brace. So that is the format of the gift format for importing essay questions. Then let's continue. Already the system knows we are on virology chapter 1 that has 10 questions. That is what we have here on our text file. Virology chapter 1. So I told you, if you have up to week 4, you have done 3 chapters, it will be very easy for you now to be picking, when you come to the question bank, to be picking the chapter you want to draw your questions from. So what do you do when you have your questions in the question bank and in the right category? So that is where we are, right? So they're there, they're right. What you do, you go back to your quiz, add questions, then where do you want to draw those questions from? So click on from the question bank, then I'll select the category, chapter 1, where is it? Virology, chapter 1, it has 10 questions. So you go through that list. So at the top, again, you have a checkbox for bulk actions. Click on it, and you can preview. So from the left to the right has the preview actions or icons that look like magnifying glasses. You can click on one. So you can see the way your question now looks. It expects some text to be input by your student. I'll cancel that. So I've selected everything here. So if you wanted to add selectively, how do you do it? So I'll uncheck that, and you can select question 10, question 3, question 4. Then you can scroll down, and here you find add selected questions to the quiz. Alternatively, if you want to pick all the questions, you can click at the top, the top checkbox where you have where you have the question just above, right above question 1. Click on that, and then it selects everything. Then at the very bottom you have add selected questions to the quiz. I'll click that. Then other questions are input into my quiz. So how do you edit your marks? Let's say you want this quiz to be out of 100. How you do it? You just click where you have a pen icon to the left of the question. You can see when I hover there, there's a message, there's a title that is edit maximum mark. I could click on that, and then I could edit, and this should be 10. Then I'll click on enter. You could see the progress icon there. Again, I'll do that for the second question. In fact, I'll do it for all questions. So you click on the pen icon, the text box, the text input is active. As you can see, the cursor, it's blinking. I do 10, then hit enter. Click again on the pen on the subsequent question, 10, enter. I'll do it fast now. Click on the pen icon, update 10, enter. Click again, 10, enter. I'll go down again, click on the pen icon, 10, again, 10. In fact, you could even say this is 5, this is 5. Then on the subsequent question, you could say this is 15. Works with your discretion. The marks should be input as per your discretion as a teacher. So the total there is 100. So maximum grade, don't forget to update that, 100, and save. So my quiz is well set up. So we have saved it. So we have saved even the maximum score. Don't forget to save that. Then we can go back now to the quiz itself. We can preview. Start attempt. So the moment you see the yellow icon here, the yellow alert, that tells you, you can read it, you can preview this quiz, but if it were a real attempt, you would be blocked because the quiz is currently not available, right? So it's good to prepare your quizzes way before the material date. So as you can see, this is what now the students will see. You said it will take 2 hours. There will be a counter once they start the attempt. And the counter will remain there until the 2 hours are done. So the questions will be like this. You can see now the student can type, they can bold anything they need to bold, they can do a link. Basically this will be an answer you can type, right? You can do a list, 1, 2, 3. But if there's a question, if it's a question that you require student to list several points, they could use the bullets to list that. I mean, they could justify the content. If it's describing, it's basically a text that they will input there. So the question 1, question 2, you can preview everything. You can go to the next question. You can preview, and you can see here marked out of 10. So the student will see the answers, the marks, the total marks are out of 10. The same way you would indicate in an exam that this is 5 marks, the other one is 3 marks. You could preview to the end to see if there's anything that is amiss for the marks. So for this one, we will prepare another session where we show you how the marking or evaluation of attempts is done. So I wanted to show you the marks that we varied. Like this one, question 9 is 15 marks. You can see describe the principles of antiviral therapy. You can see now this is 15 marks. So you can vary the marks as you feel the questions are weighted. So that's how we do it. That's how essay questions are done. And I'm happy to bring this to an end. So that is, as you can see now, this is how it will be viewed by students. Let me cancel the edit mode. So this is how it will be seen. Cut 1, you click on it. Then for the students, summary of your previous attempts. If you had, most of the time the attempt will be 1. Continue the last preview. So this is for you as a lecturer. If you want to finish previewing, you can finish. You can go to the last question and finish attempt. You have previewed everything. You haven't done anything, but you have just previewed. So let's have a look at, you can see this submit all and finish. So the student will also see this. But for us, we were basically previewing. We were setting and previewing. So let's go back to the settings. Again, we said the name, the description, the timing, those are critical. Let's look at question The question behavior. So shuffle within questions. So that one you can say yes. If your students are not doing it remotely, they are doing in a class setup. All of them are seated in an exam room with laptops, so that if one is doing question one, the other one is doing question nine at any given time, right? How do questions behave? Deferred feedback. Yes, you have to submit before getting all the questions. Again, you can go ahead and have a look at these options, the way they are explained. Um, uh, uh, as you can see now, it explains what deferred means. The student can interact with the questions in the quiz in various different ways. For example, you may wish the students to enter the answers to each question and then submit the entire quiz before anything is graded or they get any feedback. That would be deferred, as it suggests. You get the answer, you get the scores after you have finished submitting, you have finished all the questions and you have submitted, right? Alternatively, you may wish for students to submit each questions as they go to get immediate feedback, right? So there could be more. There are probably two most common behaviors. So let me see whether we're able to click on that. We have deferred feedback, CBM, immediate feedback, interactive with multiple tries, adaptive mode. You could go with deferred, right? So for these ones, if it was an MCQ after they have submitted immediately, then it will give them the scores. But for this one, because it's an essay question, you'll have to evaluate and give the scores, right? Then we have, let's see, show more. Uh, attempt. Each attempt builds on the last. No. So let's see. Review options. So again, here, it's how you review. So how does it behave after, during the attempt, after the quiz, immediately after the attempt, later while the quiz is still open? So you can vary all these factors, but again, as I said, the default factors are more safer than doing an action that you're not quite sure. And we said if you're not sure of anything, or anything that is a bit that has an explanation, Moodle will present a question mark that symbolizes help. You can click on that and get what it means. So, for example, here, immediate after the attempt is visible, whether correct, mark. So, most of these will appear if it's MCQ. But for essay, it will have to wait for you to evaluate and give the scores, to mark, basically. Now, the safe browser, will touch that on a later date. Appearance, show user picture, no image, no. Safe browser, overall feedback, grade boundary 100. Feedback, you can define feedback for various scores, but for now we will not deal with that. Common module settings, let's see. Availability, show on course page. ID number, no. Group mode, no groups. Restrict access, yes. There's a restriction on time. Tags, no. Drill bit, this is for plagiarism. We will come back to this and we'll discuss it, how we enable it. So that is how we set up our course, our what our quiz. Grade, attempts allowed. For grading, it's good to define, I forgot this, it's good to define that you need them to attempt only once, right? So grade to pass, you can define it. If you felt, if it's out of 100 and passing is, let's say 30, you can define it. It's optional. Then we can save. You can save and display, and you're good to go. So essentially for the settings, let us look at, let us just consider the first 4 settings as critical: the general, timing, and grade. Those are critical, right? So here you say attempts is 1. If you do not want students to keep on submitting multiple attempts and do a normal continuous assessment test, let attempts be 1. All right. So that brings us to the end of essay questions, how they're set up. I'll be posting this video for reference purposes. I'm available for any questions. I'm Francis Mwangi from Camry Graduate School. I am the e-learning facilitator. I'm open for any suggestions, any feedback, or any questions. So have a blessed semester. Looking forward to you utilizing the learning management system effectively and efficiently. God bless.